said, they treat me like an unwanted guest. Do you know why?
Because of the past, yeah.
Because you are an unwanted guest.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grimm. Today we're going to be meeting with a 31-year-old guy that just refuses to have any sort of life of his own, and his parents really need to get him out of the house because he's just a lazy loser, basically. So keep watching till the very end to see if Dr. Phil can help this guy. Spoiler alert, this guy is very difficult to work with. You'll see soon why. But anyways, let's get into it, shall we?
At what point is enough enough and too much too much?
That's why we're here. We need your advice.
Okay.
So these are this guy's parents, and they called into Dr. Phil's show because their 31-year-old son can't hold a job, refuses to get help for his various vices in his life, and basically just bums off them and breaks into their house in the middle of the night when he doesn't have anywhere else to sleep. Just a complete failure to launch here, and I don't know really what they expect to get help for on this. I mean, it's pretty clear you just need to either cut him off or really get him some serious help. But let's see what Dr. Phil's advice is.
Did you guys need to come here really to know that you need to stop doing what you're doing?
See, even Dr. Phil's like, come on, you guys know what the issue is here. I don't need to spell it out for you. But maybe they just needed his professional opinion so that they finally had the momentum to kick this kid out of their house. Because, again, he's just not getting it. He is not improving on his life. And if anything, he's just getting worse and becoming a bigger burden for them.
But to put him on the street, he's very street stupid. If I stuck him in the middle of the street, I don't know what would happen to him in 2 days. I don't believe he'd survive.
So the mom's thoughts here are basically, my son's an idiot and I don't trust him out on his own, which is a fair argument, but you also got to realize that you raised this kid and he is now his own adult. He has been an adult for over a decade now. If he is still refusing to put in any effort on his life, that shouldn't be on you, in my opinion. And I know it's really tough as a parent to kind of give the cold shoulder to your child when they're being like this, but he needs some tough love or else he's never going to change. There's a reason that he is stuck in this cycle of being a loser.
He steals your stuff and sells it. He calls you names. He threatens you with a hammer.
Yeah, all of that stuff has actually happened. Like I said, this dude is a real piece of work. It's not even the laziness necessarily. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of 30-year-olds that live in their parents' basement still. That sadly is a bit of a common thing nowadays, but the other thing you have to consider is he has been absolutely terrible to them to where they've actually had to call 911 on him before when he has been acting up so much and was basically going crazy on them. I would not allow that person to be in my household much longer after that if that started to become a routine thing where I was fearing for my safety.
If the things that happened in my home and I was working and I was on the scene, I would be locking somebody up because the situation was too dangerous.
And even his father is a retired police officer, and he admits how bad this scene was when he had this full-on eruption and freaked out on his parents. How you can seriously sit there and say, if I was in charge at the time, I would have arrested him, when you actually went out and bailed him out as well, that just doesn't make sense, and you're contradicting a lot right now. Like, either you are enabling this kid, or you guys need to just cut him off, but it needs to be one or the other. You can't keep confusing the guy. Yo, real quick before we move on, guys, do me a big favor. My analytics show that only 39% of you watching are actually subscribed. I don't know what's up with that, but if you guys are already watching the videos every day, you might as well join the Grimm Squad officially, so hit that subscribe button.
I understand that I am a part of this problem. I am a reason that, you know, I helped create this situation, yes.
So now this is finally the son that we're getting to meet. Again, this guy is 31 years old, unable to hold a job, kind of been going crazy lately, and has just been causing messes upon messes at his parents' house. And right here, it sounds like he's taking some personal responsibility, which is surprising. He's saying, okay, I know that there's a lot in this situation that is bad, but I have contributed to some of that, so I'm glad that he's fessing up to that. But just wait. Dr. Phil is about to pull up a board full of the excuses that he's made in terms of why his parents are making it impossible for him to succeed. Check these out.
Expect to be paid back immediately, refuse to co-sign for a car, want to charge me gas money, made it hard to go back to my career in nursing.
So basically his complaints are that they're pushing him to get a job and to pay for his own things, which I think is the most basic requirements to ask of your 31-year-old son that's still living with you. Of course they're not going to co-sign for a car because you haven't been able to hold a job for longer than a month, and they need gas money because gas isn't free and you're probably driving around a lot while contributing nothing to your household. So now that I've seen this and we're gonna hear some more of his excuses, you guys will see why he's basically full of crap when it comes to admitting that he has some fault in this, because really in his mind he doesn't, and he is the victim.
Not one of them was, I created a problem for myself. You gave me 26 reasons that they own your problems in life.
And Dr. Phil's just explaining to this guy that his life is going to continue to be miserable and he's going to have no interest in doing anything until he starts to take some personal responsibility for the situation that he has gotten himself into. Yeah, his parents might be a little bit weird about how they're treating him and all that, and it's confusing for him, but ultimately he's the one that's in charge of getting a job, getting his life together. That should not be on them, even though they're being nice and letting you live with them. So the fact that he's putting it all on them and brought up these 26 different just dumb excuses shows that he's so immature, and that really explains a lot when it comes to a situation. He's acting like a teenager.
So I wrote down some things you said. You said shelter, food, and clothing should be provided for a child.
Yeah, I agree, dude. It should be provided for a child. Now, when you're 31 years old, the story changes, and I don't think that should be provided. It will be provided by yourself, not your parents. And you're an absolute loser if you think otherwise. I'm sorry. By the time you're 31, you better be doing your best to be making your own money, dude. Your parents deserve to enjoy their retirement and have their empty nests and finally enjoy their life again.
Buying you 6 cars, letting you live there, doing your laundry, listening to all these excuses, to me, is not helping you.
Wait, run that back. What? They have bought this idiot 6 cars in the time that he's been living there? What does he do? Keep crashing them? Like, how many chances do you give your child? There's a reason he's continued to be such a loser, and that's because you're enabling him. Kick him out already, dude, and stop buying him new cars.
They treat me like an unwanted guest. Do you know why?
Because of the past, yeah.
Because you are an unwanted guest.
And that was a good one by Dr. Phil. This guy, he just needs to look in the mirror, man. Like, I don't understand why this is so confusing to him. I think he's playing dumb too. Everyone who is in their 30s is capable of understanding why this is a sad situation and how to get out of it. But he's just not wanting to admit to himself how big of a loser he is, because that's painful and no one wants to do that. But it's something he's gonna need to do if he wants to start the process of improving his life. Because if he keeps putting all of these issues on everyone else but himself, he's never gonna have the motivation to better himself.
When they moved into a hotel, did you sell the washer and dryer and stuff out of the apartment?
When
That's not an essay question.
no,
And then Dr. Phil's asking him about other sketchy things he's done to them, just to prove how much of a mess he's caused in their life. And again, I don't get why he's confused at why they want him out so bad. But when they left on a vacation, he sold their washer and dryer. No idea what that money was used for. Maybe for gas money on his 6th brand new car that they got him. But regardless, dude, again, after that, that's where I would draw the line and kick your butt out if you were my kid. But apparently these people just want him to walk all over them.
You didn't sell the washer and dryer?
the washer and dryer that they told me that they were leaving.
What?
That they were leaving.
And this guy is a master of just dodging questions. Actually, he's terrible at it, but he really tries his best. You'll see he's basically just skirting around answering this because he doesn't want to admit, yeah, I basically stole my parents' washer and dryer and sold it for a bunch of money while they were gone on vacation. So instead, he's like, oh, the dryer that they left in their house for me to just sell? Like, no, that's not how this works, dude.
What's this picture here?
It was when I was locked out of my house.
And when he says my house here, he actually means his parents' house. But according to him, it's the address on his ID, so that makes it his house. No idea how that logic works, but yeah, he came home in the middle of the night and had to break in because, of course, they locked the door and they were like, I don't want our idiot son to be coming home in the middle of the night. But I guess he just wanted to get around that and broke their window.
So you broke into your house?
I let myself into my house, yes.
And this dude really thinks he's a slick talker. But if anything, every time he tries to dodge these questions or, you know, kind of change the truth, he just makes himself look like an even bigger idiot, which is hilarious to me. He thinks he's really smart compared to Dr. Phil, I can tell. But I think when he rewatches this tape, he's gonna realize just how dumb he's looking.
Does it make common sense to live in someone's home and call them names or yell at them? Because you are a guest, right?
And to wrap it up, Dr. Phil really tries to hammer home the point that this guy, above all else, if he's truly getting his life together like he says he is, he can keep doing that, but he needs to be respectful to his parents. He can't be scaring them, calling them names, and just being so disruptive like he has been, because ultimately he is a guest in their house. And like he was saying, they owe no obligation to him once he turns 18. He's an adult. He doesn't need to live with them, but they're letting him do that. And on top of that, he's disrespectful, which which just makes it so much worse. Ultimately, I don't think this guy took much of what Dr. Phil said to heart, because in his eyes, he is still like crying about himself. I don't even know, dude. This guy's excuses for his life are just totally dumb. But hopefully one day he will learn something about personal responsibility. And if anything, this was just an entertaining video. But anyways, guys, that about does it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of this guy down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out.